right, hello everyone. Excited to see everybody today. I've been having a lot of very exciting discussions with people all across Wisconsin. My name is Russ, and I run a Wisconsin-based company called WayFi Wireless. I came from the telecom industry. I was a principal engineer for Verizon Wireless, and I was a senior engineer for US Cellular. And I was always frustrated with, how bad cellular coverage is and how expensive it was. So my mission was to fix that. And thankfully, through blockchain technology, that's something that we're doing here in Wisconsin. So what we do is we fix cellular coverage for any business or nonprofit or school. Our biggest partnership has been with the Dane County Airport to allow them to have seamless coverage indoors. Our technology, powered by blockchain, allows any cell phone to jump onto Wi-Fi and use it just like it's a cell site, automatically, seamlessly, just like in the picture up there. Works with, and it's trusted by all the major cellular carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile. Verizon's going to be jumping on board soon. Work with 22 carriers here in the US and over 100 worldwide. We have the most innovative airport in the entire world. We have the only airport that actually provides value using blockchain anywhere. No one's done this before. Wisconsin is the leader in this technology across the globe, and we make it seamless and easy with our team. So I'm an industry veteran. We've got several other people on the team who've been in the industry a long time. And blockchain technology really allows us to accelerate the value that comes out of this. And this technology isn't just trusted by us, isn't just trusted by the airport, isn't just trusted by the TSA. It's also trusted by everyone's cell phone in this room right now. So it's really amazing to see how fast this technology is moving forward. So what we can do is we're here to help Wisconsin grow. Anyone who has Wi-Fi can utilize this technology. We commonly work with a lot of businesses to give them another revenue stream. What we're doing in the most basic sense is monetizing foot traffic itself and selling that to the carriers, creating a revenue stream that is split with them. We also donate a lot of our service to local nonprofits. We work with the Milton Cross Plains School District, Madison School District. We'd like to work with several local colleges as well. We give this service out freely, which is a big difference because when we talk to schools, they're like, I was looking at paying $50,000 to $80,000 minimum for a cellular repeater. And you just came in here and said, I don't have to pay that. And I don't have to buy any new equipment. I don't need any licensing. And it just works with my existing infrastructure. That's amazing. So it's extremely innovative, extremely disruptive. It has never been done before. And right here in Wisconsin, we're pushing this technology forward in a way that the telecom industry has never seen before. And that's our mission, to make this easy. And we work with everybody. We have 100% US-based tech support. This is all here from Wisconsin. So it's been very exciting. Thank you.
Thanks to Russell for putting that on. That's the use case of what he's doing is incredible, and the fact that it's already happening in the Dane County Airport, already in the schools, already in those performing arts center is incredible. Up next, we have Matt Friedel. Take it away, man.
Thank you, Ian. So my name is Matthew Friedel. I'm co-founder of Milwaukee Venture Partners, or an angel network here in the state of Wisconsin. Over the last 4 years, we've done about 17 deals for about $4 million. So there are investment dollars that are interested in being deployed in the state of Wisconsin. Additionally, I'm a faculty member at UWM and Marquette University. I teach blockchain in one of my graduate level classes, so I'm a believer in the technology. My presentation is a little nuanced today. I want to talk about hype, innovation, and execution. So I apologize, this is an eye chart. If I was going to advise legislators or business leaders about investing in emerging technologies, I want to know what the landscape look like. And fortunately, Gartner does what is called the Gartner Hype Cycle, and it maps out various technologies in terms of where are they in terms of the trough of disillusionment, they're not meeting the expectations that they put forward, or the plateau of productivity where it's in your pocket, you're using it on your cell phone, and it's very effective. So first step would be looking at the landscape. And what is interesting about this, and I know everybody can't see this eye chart, is let's just take NFTs or tokenization. They're projecting over the next 2 to 5 5 years that we're going to reach that plateau of productivity. So now is a great time to be having these conversations and engaging Wisconsin businesses to be able to take a look at this. So a third pillar is going to be innovation, and I want you to understand how this affects the marketplace. So I've got a couple of pictures here. I've got Apple's website from 1997. I've got a brick phone. I'm going to date myself. I had one of these things. Think about those technologies now. If you go to Apple's website, it's like visual art. Think about the cell phone you have in your pocket, the functionality that's there. Guess what? The same thing is going to happen in the blockchain space. We're going to get innovation. We're going to get new tools. We're going to get new players. And you might be using, like Russ was saying, the blockchain, you don't even know it behind the scene. Third pillar, number 3, is execution. And stop me if you've heard this idea about these two very successful companies 30 years ago, Enron and Blockbuster. Yes, I have Blockbuster in a slideshow here. Their partnership was to form rather than having to go to the Blockbuster store, you could download a movie, watch it digitally, and then you don't have to go to the store at all. That idea sounds familiar because that's what we do today. So the idea was sound, the execution was poor. So if we're going to be successful in this space, we have to identify where the technology sits, what is the strategy that's associated with it, and then we have to execute on that. So do I think that NFTs or digital collectibles could be used for real world customer appreciation and loyalty programs? Yes, somebody has to execute on that. Do I think that decentralized finance can bring down the cost of financial products like loans that we use today? Absolutely. Somebody has to execute on that. So I'm a believer in this space. I teach in this space. I've invested in this space. So I'm excited to see what the state of Wisconsin does. With that, I will turn it over to Ian again. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Matt. Also, it is worth noting that on your programs there is a QR code. You can access these slides and you can follow along if you'd like. This whole presentation for the whole evening. Up next, we have Spencer Smith. He's the founder of AmpliPhi, but he's also a board member of the Wisconsin Technology Council. So everyone give it up for Spencer.
Good evening. How are you? All right, so what I'm here to talk about is democratizing access to early stage investments. One of the things we do at the Wisconsin Technology Council is measure the amount of investments that come into the state, both from in-state dollars and out-of-state dollars. And one thing we've lamented a lot is there's a lack of mergers and acquisitions activity, which means we can't make the capital more quick to move from one project to another. So I have a stat up here, $200,000 in income, $1 million in liquid net worth, or a securities license. What does that represent? What is that a criterion for? Yes, sir. Accredited investors. So if you have any of those 3 things, you can invest in early stage companies. Now, when was the accredited investor law passed? 1982. Now there's this tenet that we talk about in early stage investing, digital asset investing, et cetera, called DYOR. What is DYOR? Do your own research. Let's say you're in 1982. How do you do your own research? I don't know. Right, but now can we? Absolutely. All of us can do due diligence on our own when it comes to any of the respective investments in which we choose to invest. So this 1982 law prohibits many people from getting into the very best investments early. Now, the challenge and then the opportunity here is if you look at these 2 charts, the one on the left was a 100x return for those who got in early on this stock. Does anyone know what stock that is? That was Coinbase stock, if you're lucky to get in early. The one on the right is a 1200x return for a platform that some of you OGs may have heard of called Uniswap. In order to get a Uniswap airdrop, meaning all you do is use the platform and you get a token in return, is use the platform. So for no cost to you, you could have gotten a 1200x return by getting these tokens from this protocol. Now, the problem though is that digital assets allow anyone to back the projects in which they can materially participate, but also it becomes very impatient for us. So who invests in early stage companies? Okay. Do you have early liquidity options? No, you get 5, 7, 10 years maybe. The average investment being held by the Wisconsin Investment Partners, which is the largest angel group in the state right now, is 10.5 years. because there hasn't been M&A activity. So if we think in terms of, well, if we have a token that launches, we have instant public liquidity for an early stage tech company. Now, what are we not right now? We're not patient, right? I want to bet on sports not a week from now. I want to bet on sports tonight, right now. That's our mentality, right? So if we couple this thing, early stage tech investment, with instant liquidity, it makes people really, really impatient. So that's the challenge here. If we go this route, we have to get people to be very patient. Now, here's a path that we can follow. If we have a clear definition of what's a security, what's a commodity, that's happening at the federal level right now, the market structure bill, right? After we get through the stablecoin bill, we'll start on the market structure bill. What I'm thinking in terms of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin regulates the RIAs, the registered investment advisors in the state, if we somehow prohibit RIAs from talking about early stage investments in digital assets, that's going to put us behind the 8 ball. That's going to be really difficult for us to participate as Wisconsinites. We also need a framework for both early stage founders as well as early stage investors to ascertain, does this make sense? Should we go this route? So many founders with whom I've worked have moved out of the United States for fear of repercussions of starting a US-based digital asset company, and that's a major problem. Last thing I'm gonna ask you to do, I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Here's my QR code as a shameless plug. I'd love to have a conversation with you there. So thank you very much for having me, I appreciate you.
All right, got a couple more. Up next is Brad James, the founder of Mining with Brad.
Thank you. Hope everybody's having a good night. I know we're trying to keep it going because you guys are all very, very hungry, is what I heard. I heard some stomachs growling before. So just so you're aware, a little bit about me. We educate and help people plan, build, launch Tier 0, Tier 1, Tier 2 data centers all over the world. We helped to do this over the last 8 years. We've helped launch 43 of these. You heard in the panel earlier a lot of talk about how this isn't just magic internet stuff. It has to live somewhere, right? And most of what we've done over the last 8 years is focus on proof of work. Now, the trick with this is, if you look at this is a combined stat that I have here for you. Data center power demand is set to double by 2030. That means our computational power needs are increasing dramatically at a rate that we can't even understand yet and fully fulfill. Not only that, most people in proof of work are the first targets for some of these people, like Microsoft, to go after, acquire their sites so they can spin up and deploy quickly. All right? Now, what that means for us, here's the challenge we face. Wisconsin is a place that we can do this. How many of you grew up in a small town here in Wisconsin? Any of you? Yeah, a lot of you, all right? Now, I want to tell you a story, okay? Proof of work is misunderstood. Data centers are misunderstood. Crypto is misunderstood. This whole thing is misunderstood. And most of what we've helped with is people develop the pathways and the knowledge to not only communicate this in a way that makes sense to themselves, but to people who really have zero clue. You heard up here the panelists, when they dove into this, they're still learning, all right? So I want to tell you about a small town down in Tishomingo County, Mississippi. How many of you have ever been to Iuka, Mississippi? Exactly what I thought would happen. But I want you to picture this as a small town you know here in Wisconsin, okay? Tishomingo County is on the lower end of economic development in that state, okay? It's a small town. I think that town is like 5,000 people, all right? They had an aluminum manufacturing plant leave. That was there for 60 years. We've all experienced that, where the big manufacturing leaves that small town. How many of you remember what it does after the fact? A ton, right? What does it do? It decays. The whole town decays, right? Now, in Iuka, Mississippi, we helped to deploy a site. This is a company, a picture of a company in abandoned land that wasn't being used. Nothing was there, all right? It is now a 25 megawatt tier 1, tier 2 data center, all right? And it started with just 2.5 megawatts 3 years ago. Now, I want you to listen to these stats about Deep South operating. It has clients from all over the world, including one publicly traded company. More importantly, the positives that I want to talk about are the jobs that were created and the people, the human aspect that things like infrastructure in these towns, if we're repurposing this stuff, can make. This company specifically has created at least 5 direct full-time employment positions. Where do you think those positions came from? Came from that factory, okay? So they upskilled them. Not only that, it kept 4 linemen employed that the power co-op was going to have to eliminate. Not only that, the local tradesmen, the plumbers, the electricians, everybody else who's helped with this have increased their business dramatically and kept on and hired more staff. Where do you think they came from? That aluminum factory, all right? So we have to think about it in this way. The median income in that county is approximately $45,000. The per capita income in that county is $24,000. So not only that, but all these staff are making a better wage, a higher wage, everything else. Beyond that, they're all getting updated training on where they can deploy it elsewhere. There's already been churn at this facility. Some of those staff have gone on to be in charge of IT at some of these other companies in the area that are trying to update, grow, figure out how do they compete in this digital world. We know that all these legacy businesses are challenging with that. So not only does it create jobs, maintains jobs, help grow small business, help all of that, it's also done this. It's saved 2 rate increases on the local power. That means all of the people living in that town haven't had to deal with rate increases on their power bill. How nice would that be, right? Beyond that, $125,000 in income and taxes every year to that area. Not only that, supported local sports team like the softball team. They're a member of the chamber. They're a member of the Iuka Development Council, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now this took at least $1.5 million of local trade supply, everything else to build. So not only you're building the supply chain there, and this entire site, there was nothing going on. It was abandoned. We all know of old factory. We all know of substations that aren't used. We all know of those things. There were multiple substations there that were supposed to be 2 50-megawatt substations. There was a total of 6 being used. Now there's 25 plus being used and growing, and they're asking for another 25, if not more, right? So I want you to think about this. They are the largest power user in that area by a factor of 5. They're a job creator. They're a contributor to the local economy. They're a contributor to the local civic duties of being a member of that community. These are the types of things, when we hear about crypto, when we hear about all of this stuff, remember there's a physical aspect to this entire thing that is needed to be supported. And Wisconsin is primed to do it because we've had a bunch of businesses leave. We've all seen it. Now the trick is how do you bring these to other areas and what do? It all starts with education. Those of you who are here, I hope you're leaving and you're writing down a takeaway that you can go and communicate with the people around you tomorrow, okay? Because the biggest challenges with this entire thing is helping people understand that things like Bitcoin mining, proof of work, it's digital manufacturing. Don't think of it as a data center, it's digital manufacturing. If you think about it as digital manufacturing, people start to go, oh, I know that, because guess what? You're taking over that old warehouse that used to exist, and it used to make the can lights that exist in every gym in the area. So you're manufacturing something. Beyond that, these partners, these community members now are coming in, they're investing in the community, they're doing these things, but we have to help them with that by helping to expand things like making sure internet is there, making sure fiber is there, all of these. These are all policy-driven things to help direct where that goes. And beyond that, we have to encourage collaboration. This thing doesn't happen with just big companies coming in like Microsoft, guys. Microsoft is one big company, but there are plenty of others out there that you have to have conversations with. These are all Main Street local business owners. At the end of the day, would you rather have a large company come in and develop it and have that value be exported, or would you rather have that a small business owner develop them, work with them, and keep that money locally to help develop that local ecosystem? Which one would you rather have? Because I can tell you, based on my almost 40 years in this state, a lot of times when you import these big companies, the value leaves, the monetary value leaves, and then you're left with nothing. So maybe with some of this, when we're talking about this, don't think about it. Coinbase is a great company. Our sponsors are great. Microsoft is great. But maybe we need to think about it a little more locally. We need to generate new business, we need to generate talent development, and we need to think about these micro mineries, that's what we call them, that mining data centers are real and they are simple and you can deploy them quickly and then they can get acquired or help expand everything else that we're doing. We have a vision at our company because we're helping develop a lot of professionals in the industry. We believe that when these computational data needs, these data centers are all built, you will see data centers in probably 1 out of every 4 or 5 small towns across America. Now's the time to build it because it's going to take a learning curve. Now's the time to start. Now's the time to actually start looking at what we need to do to get there. All right, with that, you can find me on LinkedIn, message me. I'd love to have a talk with you. I think all of this is extremely interesting. I've been doing it since 2016, and every year's a new adventure. So thank you very much.
All right, everybody, and last but not least, we have the founder of Afirmity, Robert Orozco.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is, as he said, Robert Orozco. I started a company called Afirmity about 2 years ago. What we do is an intersection of Web3 and AI. Now, are any of you guys familiar with deepfakes? Yeah, if you've ever seen the Studio Ghibli memes, any of the new pictures generated by OpenAI, you're going to see that AI is getting better and better at generating content that looks hyper-realistic. And so there's been a lot of talk here about crypto, but the big technology behind crypto is the blockchain. The blockchain is the most trustable technology that has ever existed. A common source, here's what's happening, everyone's watching it at all times technology that allows a higher level of trust than has ever existed before. And so what we do at Afirmity is what we're creating is an immutable source of truth for digital communications, for public communications, video, security cameras, things so that you can actually trust what you're seeing with your own eyes. We're entering a very scary time where we're going to be entering a world where you may end up in court watching a video of you committing a crime you never did. And that is a very scary threat. And so we're very happy that here in Wisconsin, there's a number of great Web3 technology experts that have helped build and empower us to build an extraordinarily impressive piece of technology. And so that's going to be the big focus that I'm talking about for the next couple minutes. It's Web3 is more than just crypto. It's more than just the coins you put in your wallet. It's more than the transactions you made. There is a technology that is the best, most trustable technology that we ever existed, and we're entering a world where trust is going to be rarer and rarer. And so that's the big thing that we want to support here, is not just the crypto coins and the crypto assets, but Web3 as a technology, the ability to ensure security and trust. So that's the big focus we want to talk about today. Now, the challenge for deepfakes is they're growing every day. I've had the privilege of both attending the RNC here and the DNC in Chicago this year. I'll be going to Budapest later to talk to the other politicians. But right now, we have a great opportunity here in Wisconsin to be a major spotlight and help secure things like our elections, our courts. AI is entering our world in a way that we've never seen before, and it's getting quicker and quicker and worse and worse. It's kind of the joke I always say. It gets worse before it gets worse. And so that's the big focus, is that we need to empower different Web3 technologies so we can enter this new AI era with trustable technology, transactions we can trust, secure websites, secure transactions, secure communications. And that's what we really need to focus on. And I think I'm really excited for things like the WIN bill, encouraging different Web3 startups here. We had some global conferences around crypto here. We had the crypto RNC here as well. It's been a fantastic place to build Web3, and I'm really excited that we're now seeing some of our state leaders actually encouraging these technologies. I had the privilege of sitting on a call with DFI earlier this week, and it's nice to see that we have senators who are very interested in actually propelling this technology to the next steps. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, so if anyone wants to reach out to us who's in government, I'd be happy to talk to you guys. But like I said, the big focus is we're entering in a very scary and changing digital world, and it is absolutely critical that we can trust what we're seeing with our own eyes. So be cautious, be aware, and take care of yourselves.